Hi, very good afternoon and good evening rather to all of you. So let me start by asking all of you, and I see a mixed crowd in the room. So how many of you are already a part of the corporate rat race today? Okay, quite a number. And how many of you are looking forward to join the corporate rat race in future? Much fewer hands. So that only goes to show what the future of the corporate world looks like, right? Not many enthusiastic people. And believe me when I tell you that while it looks glamorous, it is not quite as glamorous as it seems. And my husband sitting in the audience will definitely vouch for the fact that once it gets in your blood, it doesn't get out. Yeah. So that's what corporate life is like. I just want to take you through a slight glimpse into what beyond the horizons corporate life will look like. While a lot of you may say that 2036 is not quite beyond the horizons, is it? It's just about 10 years on the line. But the kind of world that we live in, where everything changes every day, everything changes every hour, I think 10 years is a long enough time for us to take a peek. So let's take a very quick glimpse. Let me take you on a very quick journey of what corporate life in 2036 would look like. Okay, imagine this. You walk into your office, you log into your work. There are no fixed boundaries, there are no walls, there is no permanent boss. Sound familiar? No? That's what it will look like in the future. No permanent boss, no traditional career ladders where in a lot of memes you see a lot of monkeys all over the ladder. No more monkeys, no more ladders. Okay? That's what a bit of corporate life in future will look like. It will look like a lot of project related work. It will look like 60% of the work will be done by AI. All the cognitive work, the understanding, the analysis is going to be done by AI. And what are you going to do? You're going to bring in judgment. You're going to bring in ethics. And the human roles will focus on creativity, building trust and ethical judgments. So that's what it will look like in future. This is not speculation. And this is not something which has come out of the top of my head. This is what data trends are showing us today. This is what it will ultimately lead to. I'm from India's financial services sector, and as my dear friend introduced me, it's been 25 years since I've been doing this. And I can tell you for a fact that AI has changed analysis, it has changed compliance for the financial services industry overnight. It's been that quick a change that it has brought about. Today, let me just show you what are the things that will matter for you, and most importantly, today, since I see a lot of the young generation in this room, what you need to prepare for in the future. There are going to be three seismic shifts that we see. There will be three very large shifts that will happen. First and foremost, it's going to be a fluid organization. Okay? Permanent employment will drop down to approximately 40%. So only 40% of the workforce will have any kind of a permanent job. Everybody will work in talent collectives, like the wonderful collective you have today, which has organized this lovely event. You will work in talent collectives. So I think, kudos, this is a great start for you to start preparing for the workforce of the future. You will disassemble for a 90-day mission, then you will dissolve. So just imagine 90 days and then 1 month of bliss in the mountains. Something like that is what future corporate life is going to look like. Your personal brand, this is very important for all the young kids here. Your personal brand will determine how much of access you will get to what projects and what work. So building your personal brand is going to be something very critical for each and every one of you. So what does this mean? No more 30 years in a company. I realized that some 10 years ago. Little late in the career, but fine. Constant project-based engagements. So engagements will be based on projects, not on silos of degrees. Your network will become your safety net. Okay? So how well you are network becomes very important. Reputation capital will become critical. How good your reputation is, how good you are able to create your reputation is what will become very critical and will become your currency. Everybody, and I did not hear the talk, but I believe somebody before me spoke about artificial intelligence. I think the human and artificial intelligence symbiosis, how both of them tie together, is going to become very different. AI will become your co-pilot for everything, and believe me, AI helped me write this speech, so I can tell you it's a very good co-pilot. Strategy, writing, analysis, everything will happen through AI. Success will depend on your orchestration skills. So what do I mean by orchestration skills? How well can you utilize artificial intelligence to be able to get your work done better? How well will you be able to imbibe it in your work? And most importantly, how well will you be able to discern what is important and logical from the AI output and what is not? So what does this demand? This demands understanding AI, being AI literate. It does not mean you learn coding. Please don't start learning coding. It's not going to continue in the future. What it means is how much you know artificial intelligence, how much do you have the ability to validate the machine output, how ethically you are able to differentiate between the decisions that need to be taken, because the machine is definitely not going to work on ethics. Another and the third most important shift, the global neural network. 60% of the teams will not meet physically. You will not sit across each other. You will not sit in meetings, thank God. You will do virtual work most of the time. Perfect AI translation means language barriers are gone. So a Chinese colleague will be speaking in Mandarin, but you will understand it in English. Cultural intelligence will become the core competency because you will need to understand the people you are working with. What's required to be done here? You have to master your virtual presence. Okay? No more switching off cameras and being in oblivion while the meeting is going on. A lot of us will relate to this, I'm quite sure. But you will have to master your virtual presence. You will have to master cross-cultural fluency and speed. You will have to master what is called as asynchronous communication excellence. Communication across time zones, communication at any time of the day or night, managing communication, enabling decision making without everyone being present simultaneously. I think we all got a glimpse of it during the virtual working and studying that we did at times of COVID. Not easy, but something which is definitely going to help you in the future. Time zone agility is going to be very, very important. What is the common thread across all this that is going to change in the future? Every role will demand learning agility. How quickly can you learn? Relationship capital. Without meeting somebody, how well are you able to keep your relationships strong? Ethical decision making, and most importantly, something that my very sweet host mentioned, how do you work in a constantly changing environment of constant flux? So everything changes in a jiff of a moment, right? So I'm financial services, I have to mention this. Monday night, you have the trade deal getting announced, and Tuesday morning, the markets turn around more than anybody expect. That's the kind of flux that we live in today. We'll go on to the second part that I want to talk about, which is the skills divide. What is going to be needed as the skills of the future and where we are? Very honestly, nearly 80% of the skills as you and me learn or know today are going to become obsolete by 2030. This is not me creating alarms for you. This is exactly what is going to happen, and it's data. The gap between what we are learning today and what is going to be needed is catastrophic. I'll give you a very small personal example. So my son is in the boards this year. So me and he and everybody at the family was trying to sit down to understand what skills. So the way that we wanted to choose the subject that he wants to take was to try and understand from AI what skills are going to be impacted by AI in the future. I mean, just look at the dichotomy. So you put into AI, and the question is, what are the fields which will get impacted by AI in the future? And AI gives you the answer. Okay, and that's how you want to select a field. So, very different from what we used to do when I started studying, when you only had to do either become a doctor and an engineer or do home science. So, now, world is very different. So, what skills are going to become obsolete? The routine analysis. Okay, we pride ourselves. I used to be very happy when I was doing my MBA. I used to be very happy that I don't need a calculator. I used to calculate in my head. Okay, gone. AI will do it faster, cheaper, more consistently. Okay, so your competitive advantage of being able to use your head as a calculator, not there anymore. Memorization. Okay, I used to pride myself on having a great memory. Okay, information is instantly accessible. Google, Gemini, everything, all information there. Okay, your brain's filing system, irrelevant, not required anymore. Siloed expertise. Okay, problems are inherently interdisciplinary. Today when I have to handle an issue, I have to go to 5 stakeholders in the team. in various teams. So problems are interdisciplinary. Nothing is siloed. Deep specialists. So we have somebody who's in the IT team who understands everything that is to do with information technology, will stagnate, will get stranded in the future. Command and control leadership. Okay. So trust networks. Only trust networks will replace hierarchies. There will be no hierarchies. Authoritarian leaders like myself, unemployable. No employment 10 years later. I'm glad I'm going to retire before that. What are going to be your indispensable skills? What is going to be very, very important for all of you to do? Cognitive flexibility. Okay, being able to switch between AI assisted and human only thinking. What can AI help you with? What will only your brain work on? You have to switch between the two very flexibly. Flexibility and agility are going to be the name of the game going forward. You should know when to trust the algorithm and when to override the algorithm. And I tell you for a fact, I've seen it in action. In our investment team, I work for an asset management company. So there is our funds, we take the help of algorithms to run some funds. But you have to be very careful what kind of data it is throwing up and how much you need to analyze it, how you need to use it. In fact, I will be very honest with you, when I took a first draft of this kind of a speech, I had to change 50% of it. So you should know how much you need to change, how much you need to trust when you are taking outputs from artificial intelligence. Second point, network orchestration. Orchestration largely means the word as it sounds, an orchestra. So how do you need to smoothly navigate between things? How do you build trust across time zones? How do you get people to trust you more? And at digital speed. It's not human speed anymore. Your network will determine how much your opportunities are going to be in the future. Ethical foresight, the third point. Making moral calls when AI lacks context, and AI will lack context. It is not your human mind. And you have to be the adult in the room when technology enables easy shortcuts. There could be things that AI will throw up which may not be exactly the right thing to do because AI doesn't have a moral code, right? But that moral code is something you will need to build up very strongly. Deep specialization plus breadth. You can't only be an expert in one domain. You have to be world class in one domain. You have to be conversant across at least 5 others. Oh, I'm wonderful at sales. Great, what more can you do? You have to answer that question. The T-shaped professional will become non-negotiable. I'll give you a real example from the financial world, and obvious examples have been in it too long. Mutual fund analysts in my domain who learned how to use AI to orchestrate AI have been seen to grow their AUM much faster than a traditional analyst. What is the difference? The difference is they focused on human judgment in tandem with artificial intelligence. Okay? That is human brain addition to machine insights, what we call as man plus machine. They were not competing with AI. You and I are not competing with AI. They were orchestrating it and using AI to the logical end. So this was a bit about what is going to come in the future and what skills you are going to need. I'll now come to what your preparation should be like. And this is not theory. This is actually your action roadmap. And this is something that you must work on. First of all, build the foundation. See, AI is the first invention, and I heard a very prominent speaker talk about this in the recent past. AI is the only invention in history since we were cavemen which takes power away from human beings. Till now, all other inventions have been, giving power, whether it is the wheel, it is fire, have been giving power to humans. AI is the only invention which takes power away from it. Irrespective, you will have to learn how to use it. So learn AI usage and tools. Again, please do not learn coding. Learn usage of AI tools. Understand how to interpret data. There is hordes and hordes of data available today, and I can tell you, I know some of you are working in the corporate world, the amount of data that you analyze on a daily basis is not funny, okay? But you have to learn how to sift through that data. Know that AI has limitations. You have to pull up what can logically be used and what cannot be used. Practice judgment calls. Taking judgment calls in a virtual environment is going to be very critical for all of you. You have to develop cross-cultural fluency. Work on global teams every opportunity you get. Any opportunity you get like this, work as much of global teams as you can. Work cross-cultural teams as much as you can. Master your virtual presence. Okay, how to sit in a virtual call, how do you present in a virtual meeting. All those things are critical for you to do. Learn a couple of new languages. Very, very important. Languages hone your brains. They make sure that your gray cells work faster. Learn a couple of new languages. Study cultural patterns. Study how time zones work and how people behave across cultures. Very important, next point, build your personal brand. Learn how to build your personal brand. Document your unique values. What is it? What is your USP? What is it that you bring to the table? How will you make a difference? That is very, very important. Build across relevant social media platforms. All the relevant media social, and that doesn't mean clicking pictures of the food you eat. It means how do you bring your personal value to the table. Create portfolios of outcomes. Document what you do. No more writing in your CV, I lead a team of 500 people. No, no. What did these 500 people do? How did they build the organization? That's important. And share learning publicly. That you all already know best. Daily habit, 30 minutes of learning a skill that scares you. Even if it means something like public speaking or like as simple as swimming. Learn a skill that scares you. Create network of capital. Join such talent collectives. Join industry pods, build mission marketplaces, take up a project and build that skill. Practice fluid leadership. This is very important for those people who are already in the corporate world today. Lead short-term projects and lead them across companies. For example, the Reserve Bank of India has a very nice sandbox. Be a part of it if you are part of any industry which does some projects on AI. Manage without formal authority. Very, very important and a very difficult task. I've done it for a couple of years, but teaches you absolutely skills in managing. Build trust quickly and prove your impact faster. Weekly habit, reach out to 3 people outside your industry or network every week. I do a lot of mentoring, considering that I'm very old in the working industry now. But I always tell my mentees that your assignments is to reach across to 3 people outside your industry and network and to build your network. So that's a very important thing for all of you to learn. Organizations need to prepare or to perish. For companies who are not preparing, 2036 will mean extinction. Rethink talent models. How do we hire talent? Hire talent for missions, not for permanent roles. Create project-based team structures. Create talent marketplaces, manufacturing talent. Invest in orchestration skills. That means you have to learn how to be learning more. 10x ROI on AI training. Okay, training and learning agility is most important, very, very critical. Transparent impact metrics are important. Building trust infrastructures is critical. Most importantly, measure learning velocity. How fast can a person learn? How quickly? Weekly skill acquisitions should be a very important core KPI. Continuous capability upgrades have to be a part of the daily KPIs that any individual needs to have in the world in future. Companies who do this, you'll see speed in innovation, they will see lower attrition, have higher margins, and also become talent magnets because they are the ones who will invest in teaching their people. 2036 will not care about your degree, it will not care about your tenure or your title. It will reward those who prepare. So students, start preparing your personal brands today, not tomorrow. Professionals, build your network capital this year, not next year. Leaders, transform your talent model this year. Don't wait for the crisis to hit. The future workplace is not coming to find you. It's assembling without you. Unless you prepare and be ready, you will fail. Thank you very much.